Hello guys, this week we're going to think about bedding, sort of different types of bedding you might use for your horse, why you might use certain types and which types there are to be used. But first of all, what do we mean when we're talking about bedding? Think about in the stables that you've looked at. What do you see on the floor? What do you see in our stable housed around there? Now over here you can see a big pile of hay right down the back, and in the bucket here this is wood shavings, kindly brought to us from a neighbour. There's also the ends of some straw that we had. Do you remember straw? The straw comes from the stalks of cereals, so it's very coarse and pretty and edible. So why do we use bedding? Well, one thing, when the horses are standing in all day, it's quite hard for them to be standing on this concrete floor, and they can get very sore, their legs can swell up. So we've got these rubber mats down to try and break up some of that hardness, make it a bit lighter for them on their feet. But also, when they're standing on this stuff, if they have a pee, it will splash everywhere. And a lot of the guys really don't like to pee on this stuff. It's not very nice. So one use of bedding is to make the ground soft and comfy for them to lie down on. Another one is to just give them somewhere to pee so it doesn't splash up on their legs, and to absorb the pee so that the stable doesn't smell horrible all the time. So the different materials we were talking about, sawdust and straw, are pretty good because they're nice and absorbent, they make a comfortable layer, and they're not very edible. You could use hay, hay would do the same thing, but the horses are quite likely to eat it. Other materials you can get aren't really very available around here, so there would be a large cost in transporting it over here. So we use what we can get, which is the sawdust and the straw shavings. So once we've swept all this up and put it into a barrow, here's one I prepared earlier, what are we going to do with it? Well, follow me and you can see. This way through here is our muck heap, and all that poop and dirty straw goes through here. And once it's done, if you look over the side here, it gets left in a big pile to rot down, and eventually goes onto the garden to help us grow potatoes. What we don't do though is put it back onto the fields where the horses are, because there can be worms in amongst the poo and we don't want the horses to catch worms. So that's it. Bedding.